Okay, lunch. I saw Thousand Island on the other side. Brillance. I think I'm gonna start with this. All right, let me see if I can get over to Ricky Martin here. But they do have a little bit of Halloween decorations out. So I'm in the solarium. It's calm, it's warm. Adults only. Very nice. Let me show you around a little bit. Little showers. Over there's the Park Cafe. Very cute. All right, room tour time. Well, tell you kind of what's going on because it's been a little crazy. So, Royal Caribbean, Brilliance of the Sea. We are in room 2005. It is tiny. So, let's take a look. First walk in on the right, you got a little closet area. Some good shelving in there. Some hangers. Your life jackets, little hanging, couple little hangers on the left when you walk in. I don't know what that is. Your thermostat, old school. Your lights. Yeah, this makes me think of like a camper, but it's bigger than most campers. But well designed. You got your sink. Yeah, very old looking. Some hangers. Got your full length mirror. Some more mirrors, little lightsies. They got some materials here for you. Some more drawers. Tissues, blow dryer, very long drawers, all your plugs. Ooh, it's kind of nice, the lighting. My little baby TV. You got your cooler chest here. Here we go. Drawers. Little couchy. Table, another light. If I was much taller, I think Rowan would have a hard time in this ceiling. You got your side table, bed. I think okay for comfort. Pillows look pretty nice though. You can have your curtains drawn if you needed. Your safe. What? Okay. It's like, you will use me. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna use you. There. All right. Yeah, you know, it's nothing special, but I did do a guarantee rate. You kind of get what you get with that. Yeah. I did try roiling up. I did very minuscule bids, so I didn't expect much. But I didn't win. So that's all right. So let's talk a little bit let's just talk for a minute. Let's sit down on this couch. Oh yeah. That's pretty comfy. Okay. So the Uber ride from the hotel to here was great. Had a really nice driver. Like really not much traffic till you got pulled into here. It was a little chaos during the check-in process. Sorry, I look really dark right there. So the porters came, they took my bags, which was great. I only had printed one label because I only thought I was gonna have one bag. I ended up having two. So he put a label on there for me, which is great. Make sure you tip your porters. Then you walk in, you needed, like there was these corrals, but they weren't using them. So you had to show an officer your passport, and then you go up some stairs, and then that's where it was kind of like total chaos. They like direct you to a couple different workers with iPads. You scan your boarding pass, you show your passport, and then you go into another area where they give you like a declaration form. And you had to fill that out before you could go into this other area. So I thought, so I'm like, you know, trying to wait for people to move out of the tableway. They're like not moving. There's not really lines. It's just like freaking chaos. So I ended up finding a pillar and finished filling out my form. I did what I could, like just using my phone as a hard surface. So get that filled out, went to the seating area, but then there's people like filling out their forms over there. So it's like, did I have all this chaos? So then you're in the seating area for just a couple minutes. Then they shooed you down. After that, it was fine. But just doing the whole form, that was not organized. They didn't have it for that. So that was just chaos. And then just getting on the ship was always like a little disorienting, trying to figure out where you're going, where you're at. So had the buffet for lunch, saw a little bit of that. That was kind of meh. I hope the food gets a little bit better throughout the trip. But I'm going to try not to, like my other cruise experiences, Disney. I'll link those down below for Alaska. I'm not going to try to compare the ships constantly back and forth because that would just be annoying for you. But I will make some comparisons because that's the base of knowledge I have. So this is an older ship, but I rode on when we did the Disney cruise, it was the Wonder. So I imagine they're pretty close in age. But there's definitely levels of wear and tear on here you would not see on Disney. So I do like the buffet like setup a little bit better. Like they have all these little mini stations, which is nice instead of kind of like a big, you know, snaked line. So that was really nice. And then it didn't, I don't know, the seating just looked better here than what I remember on the Wonder for the buffet. But the food wasn't very good. And then people are like not paying attention. They have their backpacks on. So I almost got like knocked over a couple times. But it's fine. The solarium is very nice though. So I chilled in there for a few minutes. So just waiting for bags at the moment. Enjoying kind of the quietness for a second. And then I did my muster drill. That's really nice on Royal too. So they definitely have a win there, sort of. So it's nice that you can do it all kind of your own pace here for the most part. But I feel like I'm more prepared on Disney than I would be here. Because like there, Disney, you like have to listen. They're gonna sound the horn. They're gonna do this. You're gonna pay attention. Here, it was like you can just let the video play and not pay attention. So I don't love that. But here we go. All right, so let's just chill for a little bit and then we'll do welcome aboard trivia. It's Sunday, my dudes. Going up. Welcome aboard trivia. All right, I am all unpacked. A couple little things I found, hacks, things like that. So there's like, you know, no storage space in here. So I took one of the cups. It's gonna hold my toothbrush and whatnot. I know Matt from Royal Caribbean blog has said some negative things about over the door hangers, but this one's tiny. It came with my packing squares. Otherwise I wouldn't have it, but I'm glad I have it. Oops, there goes a hair clip. But she's small. You know, I have like, you know, things I don't use all the time down here and things I do up on top. So that is helpful. They also have an all-in-one in the shower. No, thank you. But I always pretty much travel unless I'm going to only Disney, because I like Disney's products. But I have very sensitive skin, so I get worried using hotels products for my scalp especially. All hung up. So I also do use a laundry hamper on cruises, on hotels. I think it's very helpful. And these mirrors I found do open. So there's some storage in there, which is cool. This is also like a flat drawer. This does come out, so the TV swivels out. Also another hack is these little hookies. So I can't stand wearing the lanyard when I'm not in the room. So then I got my lug hanging there too. So that all was really helpful. I'm trying to think of anything else I've figured out and hacked along the way for you guys. Those are the main things I can think of right now. The underneath the bed you can put your suitcase. I have my big suitcase in the closet, but I have my little one under the bed. This might not work. Okay. Hair clip does not want to stay on that little hook, which is fine. Umbrella. Yeah. So I think that's it. I do not find any plugs by the end tables by the bed. So these are the only plugs I see. So having a multi-charger is very helpful. You only really got 2 plugs unless you have an adapter. So I did a little door decorating. Got my hitchhiking ghosts. I'm like, this is a Halloween cruise, so it's okay. That is Disney, you know, and it's just cute. So there we go. This person's got caution tape, which is fun. Oh, hi Dennis and Linda. We have taken off. Lighthouse out there. The Pacifica Theater. Oh, cool little box seats up there. That's some comedy show. I found a duck. This is like the coolest though. It's a magnet. All right, we're doing main dining today. So looks like featured beverages, menu highlights, the crab cake, the southern fried chicken, key lime pie. She said the spinach and artichoke dip is one of her favorites. Same with the roasted tomato, crab cakes, mains, New York strip, slow roasted prime rib. She said she liked that. Grilled chicken. And then there's upcharge items. And then the desserts, Boston cream pie, key lime pie, cheese plate. That's interesting. Freshly baked fat bread. So I'm on deck 5, table 724. What was weird is I picked the later dining when I selected the cruise, and like somehow I got moved up to 4:45. I'm like, that is way too early. So I went to the maitre d' earlier today, and he moved me to this later time, which I'm sure is not as popular with the demographic, so it was no problem moving. So we're gonna do all the different dining, except for I didn't do chef's table, but we have all the other all the other specialty dining. We're gonna do the main a couple times, and then we're gonna do the buffet a couple times. All right, I went for 2 starters. I got the crab cake and then the spinach dip. Got the fried chicken from the cob, little mashed potatoes. I think that's like a hot honey, I think it was. The crab cake I like the best. Got the key lime pie. Looks good. All right, future Melissa here. So I was going through footage and it looks like I never did a recap for day one of the cruise. So coming to you now. It's too cold to go outside and it's snowy and a snow day here. But I'll show you the Christmas tree instead. So the embarkation process was a little bit of a cluster at the port. So they gave us like a customs form to fill out, but there was not a lot of space to actually fill it out. So I had to like go up to a wall pillar and use that to do it. And you know, it was just kind of an awkward situation, people trying to find a spot to do it. And then they didn't want you to sit down until you filled it out, but then they started letting people sit down. So some people in my section had it done, some didn't. So it was just, you know, kind of chaotic, but we got through it. You know, people at the port were fine, you know, friendly, but not overly friendly. It was fine. Then once on the ship, you know, it was smooth after that. The disembarkation was actually worse, and I will share that later on. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can hear about that mess. But yeah, so not probably smooth, but it's on a port. I'm sure they have a lot going out of, so you know, is what it is. Let's see. Going around the ship was great. The trivia and the games I did were all great. And then dinner and main dining, my wait staff were great. I believe her name was Marianne and the assistant server was Nessie or Nessa. I think it was Nessie. They both were wonderful, very friendly, very fun. You know, they almost kind of made me feel bad about like doing the specialty dining. Like, where were you? So they were really nice. The food was fine. I had the crab cake and the spinach dip. Don't get the spinach dip. That was awful. The crab cake actually was really good. And then the main, I had the fried chicken with the corn on the cob and the potatoes. Potatoes were good. Corn on the cob was not. It was overcooked. And then the chicken was also fine. And then dessert, I had the key lime pie. That I actually really liked and had it, I think, at least one more time during the cruise. So the key lime pie was very good. The room, at first when I walked in, I was like, oh, this is small. But after like a day or two in there, it didn't really feel all that small and really felt like enough for, you know, what I needed. And there was actually a ton of storage. I found more even on like my last day. I was like, oh, didn't know that was there. So it was fine for definitely just me. If I had both the boys, no, it'd be too small, but maybe one of them, it would have been fine too. So yeah, the room was fine. All right, I'm trying to think of anything else to share. I believe that is it for day one of the cruise. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll go into the resource for today's video. Thank you. So the resource for today's video, I'm actually going to share a few different resources with you. So this was a magnet I had made a while back showing the difference between 211, 988, and 911. So 211, you would just dial 211 if you're in the States and I think Canada as well. So that's for community and social services, so like food and shelter, income tax assistance, so that's coming up soon. Bill payments, so like electric and water, things like that. Information and resources. 988 is going to be for suicide and crisis line, or 1-800-273-TALK. So you can talk to someone, you can text, you can also live chat. It was formerly known as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And then 911 is for any of your emergency services. So paramedics, police, fire department, etc. So that's the difference between the three different kind of N11 numbers. Some areas also have 311, which tends to be like your local governmental information. And then there's also 811, which in my area, that would be for if you're going to do construction and you need to know where the power lines are. And then there's 411, which would be information, and generally there's a charge for 411. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.